Did it. Okay, well, welcome everybody. I see lots of new, I was going to say faces, but I can't see your faces. I can see your names. Lots of new names in here, so that's exciting. And hopefully you guys are all here because you can't go to Dreamforce, which is really sad. But yay, virtual Dreamforce. And we have the amazing Jillian Bruce here with us today to tell us about how to engage with that virtual version of Dreamforce. And all the things that you can still get out of it, which I'm really excited for. So, Jillian.
Well, hello, everyone. I am channeling my San Diego vibes. I wore a sleeveless shirt today because it's actually kind of warm in San Francisco. So, like, I think in my mind, I always feel like I'm in San Diego. But, you know, I think back to those 3 years I lived in Cardiff, like, so fondly. I'm like, oh, that lifestyle was just amazing. Anyway, so hello, everyone. I put together like a little deck to talk about what the virtual experience will be for Dreamforce this year. So let me go ahead and pull that up. While I'm doing that, if anyone does not know me, my name is Jillian Bruce, and I am an admin evangelist at Salesforce. And so basically my whole job is about enabling and empowering and inspiring people to be Salesforce admins, to become awesome admins. It's a pretty sweet job. I'm not going to lie. I kind of like it. I've been doing it for a while. So let's see. Can you guys see my screen?
Yes.
Yes. Oh, I can see my screen too. Great. Okay. Let me actually do this so I can see both things because I am not at home, as you can tell. I'm actually in the Salesforce Tower in San Francisco. So I'm working off of a laptop, which is a new challenge for me. So let's get into what I've got put together here. Obligatory forward-looking statement. Not that I'm talking about any new features and functionality, but because I work at Salesforce, I need to say this slide. So don't make make only your purchasing decisions based on currently available features and functionality. And even if you're attending Dreamforce virtually, you will also see this about 10,000 times next week. So
I would love if someone puts together like a remix of just how everybody presents this slide. It would be amazing.
Yeah, I think Steve Mo still has like the best one.
But Steve Mo does have the best one. I was going to say that.
But the problem is we don't use safe harbor anymore because like we changed it to forward-looking statement. I think he felt a way about that. Anyway, so here's what I'm going to just talk about today. This is totally a discussion. So if you have a question or whatever, please feel free to raise it. I can't really see the chat as I'm doing the presentation right now. So I will look at questions at the end. I'm just going to run through this, and then Christy and Tracy and I will have a conversation and we'll answer whatever questions you've got. And I know Christy's attended virtual Dreamforce and virtual Salesforce events a few times, so she's got some great advice there. Okay, so we're going to try and play a trailer for Dreamforce. If you haven't seen it, it's going to get you amped up about the virtual experience. So let's see if I can use technology correctly and play this for you. All right. Oh,
there's a little checkbox to also share your audio, which Tracy and I can never find when we tried to play something before, but okay. It's there somewhere.
Let's see. Well, let's see. Let's try it.
Calling all trailblazers. Dreamforce is here.
Wow, look at this.
Where innovation meets inspiration at the world's largest software conference.
It's going to be a party. It's going to be a family reunion.
Once in a lifetime magic, streaming to you live on Salesforce Plus.
Get ready, Trailblazers. We've got some celebrating to do.
A reimagined, immersive, award-winning digital experience, totally free. 2 channels, 3 days. 72-hour live broadcast. Global takeovers. 200 plus on-demand episodes. Real solutions, real impact.
Every single year, I find the next tool that I need to help take my company or my client to where they need to be.
It's time to learn, connect, have fun, and give back.
Dreamforce taught me that community and people together can do amazing things.
No matter where you are, experience 3 days that will change everything. Don't miss Dreamforce 2022, streaming live on Salesforce Plus. Register for free today.
All right, so yay, technology worked. So that is like our sizzle reel for Dreamforce this year. And if in case you didn't get it, because we kind of tried to hammer it home in this video, we've got 72 hours of virtual content that you can engage with, most of it actually live, which is pretty exciting. So let's
Calling.
nope, we don't want to play that again. Okay, so this is an overview of like all of Dreamforce. For those of you who've never heard about Dreamforce before, it is our annual, like we call it our annual homecoming for everybody in the Salesforce ecosystem. The last couple of years have been a little challenging, right? Because we were all virtual, and then we did all virtual, which with a very small, like I like to call it more like a live studio audience is what they did last year in the Salesforce Park, just right out here. But this
That's
year
what
it's
we
like
felt
back.
like too.
Yeah. Yeah. And they went through all of the hoops to like get through San Francisco protocols to make that happen. It was a whole thing. I was glad I was still on maternity leave, so I didn't have to deal with that. But what we did learn over the last couple of years was that we can reach so many more people by doing that digital experience versus just limiting it to the in-person experience. So there is a ton of stuff going on at Dreamforce. It is 3 days. It is everything from like luminary sessions with like Bono and Mark Benioff to like tactical like sessions that we have in the admin track about like how to use Flow to solve a specific problem. If you ever have the opportunity to physically come to Dreamforce, I highly recommend you put it on like your goal list, maybe for next year or something. It's pretty special. But attending virtually this year is going to be the best experience that it has ever been, which is really fun. So let's dig into that a little bit. Okay, nobody screenshot this. Nobody tell anyone that I shared this with you. I know this because I'm running a lot of the broadcast stuff. So I'm showing you this because all of this, the schedule is all going to change. But we have 2 channels of Dreamforce stuff happening on Salesforce Plus at all times. There's live streaming for some sessions. There's some sessions that are like live to tape, which is like the, you know, anyone working in like the industry knows what that means. So they'll tape it and then like replay it as though it's live, just on a slight delay. And some of those luminary sessions are going to be available. A lot of we have some actual, like the admin keynote is going to be streamed live. There's some special broadcast only segments that I'll talk about. So there's a lot for you to tune in. Basically, you have like 2 channels of Salesforce TV to like flip back and forth and choose from for like the entire time of Dreamforce. So there are also a lot of segments that are just for the broadcast audience. So I know that sometimes if you can't physically make it, you feel like you're missing out a little bit. Well, even if you're physically making it to Dreamforce, they have some FOMO too, because a lot of this stuff is just for the broadcast. So Salesforce, like as a company, has invested in actual like broadcast professionals and like people who know how to do TV. So we actually have like legit shows. Like we're going to have a Dreamforce Today show. I mean, talk about branding, right? And we're going to have like a Dreamforce Tonight show. I will be on both of those. So if you want any more of me, because I will be everywhere, you can't escape me. But those are going to be really fun, right? Like a chance to recap what's happened on site during the day, some special exclusive interviews with some of our like celebrities and trailblazers who are going to be there, and some really fun stuff. Like the Dreamforce Tonight is like, there's an actual comedian who's going to be like part of that, which is pretty fun. So it should be very entertaining. It should be very fun. And yeah, so tune into what you can. There's also going to be a lot of stuff available on demand after Dreamforce is ending. So there's actually from every track. So there's a track with a bunch of sessions, both theater and breakouts. Of each of those tracks, they're actually recording a portion of them to then put on Salesforce Live after the event is over. And what's cool about this is that they're categorizing them by role. So if you're an admin or a developer or you're an IT leader, they're also categorizing them by topic. So if you're interested in a specific product like Flow, I'm just going to use Flow because it's what everybody talks about all the time. And by industry. So all of this will be available very shortly after Dreamforce ends, and it will be available like ongoing, right? So it's a great kind of resource, and it's going to be a higher production value than like in years past, where it's like there's a camera stuck in the back of the breakout and you can barely hear what's going on. So it should be a much better experience. Okay, how do you get all this? You got to register. So simply by going to like register for the virtual experience, you'll get logged into Salesforce Plus. You'll be able to like, add things to your calendar. And it also enables you to kind of access the on-demand stuff. It's totally free. It's just something to log into because Salesforce, and we want you to log into everything so we can see what you want to do and all of that. But yeah, so you have to do a register. So I'm gonna walk you through a janky demo. It's not an actual demo because I took screenshots because that's easier. But this is what the Salesforce Plus landing page looks like. There's a whole tab right there called Dreamforce. It's super easy to find. And as soon as you get there, you're going to get the TV guide for Salesforce Plus Dreamforce. So I said 2 channels. There are 2 channels. For each channel, there's also an ASL version of that channel. So if you need that, that is also provided. But you'll be able to go through just like your direct TV menu and go through and see what is going to happen. You can click into each one and see what it's about. You can add it to your calendar. I highly recommend, because I'm biased, everyone add the Salesforce for Admins keynote to your calendar, which is Thursday at 9 a.m. Thursday is actually officially, we're calling it Admin Thursday at Dreamforce because we start the day with the keynote. We have a very special after show segment just for the broadcast right after the keynote. And then at 3 p.m., well, I'll show you later, there's True to the Core in the middle of the day. And then at 3 p.m., we're doing Admin Release Readiness Live at Dreamforce. So if you've ever attended Release Readiness Live before, it's great. It's usually a virtual only experience where you can tune in. You can see the product managers deliver demos of what's up and coming in the Winter 23 release and kind of ask, and you can ask your questions to the product managers and they will answer them. We're bringing that to the Dreamforce stage. So we're both going to continue the online version of it. And we're going to have people in the room able to ask questions. Plus, we've got 20 additional product managers just sitting there. So if you have questions about other things, put them through. And that's definitely a way that you can engage. We're actually uniquely the only session who's doing a truly hybrid experience, but for both in-person and virtual. So please, please, please check that out and put it on your calendar. One thing to note about that, because it's an existing program that we always broadcast on Salesforce Live, we're keeping it on Salesforce Live. It's not going to be on Salesforce Plus. It will be after the event. We don't want to change the experience that you're used to. So that's kind of the way that that's all working. I can talk more about that later too, but it's basically, if you've ever tuned in to Release Readiness Live, same experience. Nothing changes for you. So there we go. See, I had a whole thing about this and I just talked about it without going to the slide. No one would guess that I actually present for a living. It's the thing. So yeah, Release Readiness Live is still going to be on Salesforce Live. If you want to, add that to your calendar, you can go to Salesforce Live website right now and just say sign up for the Winter 23 preview, and it will, send you all the reminders and all of that. It's going to be so fun. I'm really excited about this session. So with that, here are kind of my viewing suggestions for each day for you to tune into. The main keynote to kick off the entire Dreamforce experience, which is where Mark gets on stage and Brett gets on stage and they do all the big announcements and everything. That's going to be airing on Salesforce Plus at 1 o'clock on Tuesday. And then right after that, it's a really fun session about women's empowerment with Jennifer Hudson, which I think is going to be really special. So any J-Head fans can get some good love there. And then the developer keynote is that day at 4 p.m. So that is also going to be on Salesforce Plus. Any devs in the house, I've actually got a sneak peek into what they're showing. They're showing some pretty cool stuff. So I recommend doing that. And then on Wednesday, we've got this first ever Slack keynote at Dreamforce. So I think it's going to be really cool. There's a lot of new innovation. I am addicted to Slack and I really don't. So I'm hoping that I can actually attend this and get a little more insight of how I can improve my Slackness. And then the Trailblazer ecosystem keynote is later that day at 2 o'clock. So that's all of basically it'll be Trailhead and Trailblazer journey, those kinds of stories. So announcements about Trailhead improvements, community improvements, all of that. And then, so we are actually broadcasting something at Dreamfest. I don't know what it is. The Red Hot Chili Peppers are going to be playing that night. And we are doing some kind of broadcast from the ballpark. So I don't know, it could be shenanigans. It should be really fun, whatever it is, tune in. I make no promises about actually getting Red Hot Chili Pepperness, but I don't know why they would broadcast from there and not do it. So I don't know. I only know so much. I'm sharing what I do. And then Awesome Admin Thursday is really the big day. As I mentioned, we start at 9 a.m. with the admin keynote. Immediately after the keynote, we're doing a really fun 15-minute after show where I have some admin analysts like at a desk, and we're treating it like a post game. We're going to break down what you just saw and like do it live. It's going to be really fun. And then we've got release readiness live for developers at 11, same model as I mentioned that we're doing for admin. Ask your questions live. You will get them answered. And if they don't get to them in that session, then we're actually going to do some follow-up live Q&As virtually in October as well. And then there's True to the Core. They are broadcasting True to the Core on Salesforce Plus. If you've never seen this session, like, just do it. This is where we have our senior executives and product leaders on stage answering the tough questions about why the product is the way it is, giving insight into strategy over the direction of product development, like answering why, you know, this exchange idea hasn't been delivered in 10 years. Like, those are the kinds of things that get discussed in this. And it's great. It helps you get an insight into why the platform the way it is and where it's going and all of that. And then we close out all of Dreamforce with Admin Release Readiness Live. And again, that's a way you can engage with us too. So there's a lot for you to engage with. Even though you're not coming up to San Francisco, you're staying in beautiful, sunny San Diego. So yeah, that's kind of what and there's one more thing that you can also engage with us. If you want to win one of these really cool Cotopaxi bags with the Salesforce Admins logo on it, there's actually a sweepstakes going on right now on Salesforce Admins, our Twitter handle. We launched it earlier this week. Through the end of Dreamforce, you have a chance to win one of these. What you have to do is, I think you have to answer the question that we post and just use #AwesomeAdmin. And then you'll get entered for a chance to win one of these really cool bags. They're awesome. So yeah, that is, I think it. So Q&A, let's do it. I can also stop showing slides.
We have a question about Matthew McConaughey. Is his session going to be recorded? Do you know?
It will also be broadcast on Salesforce Plus. Fun fact, I was asked to interview him as like a post thing, and I was so excited, and then his schedule changed, and so I don't get to do it anymore.
Oh.
I had like all my questions prepped, like, you know, okay, it's all right. I'll survive.
Next time.
You'll be all right.
I heard that some things are going to be recorded and some things aren't going to be recorded. Do you know what isn't going to be recorded?
So, you know, we have, just to give you kind of an example. So we have, I think, 64 sessions in the admin track this year, both theater and breakout. Of all of those, they're recording 3. So we had to nominate which 3 we thought would be the best video on demand content. So there is a portion, there will still be lots of content that is recorded, but not like the whole gamut, right? I'll say for us from the admin track, like the sessions that we're really excited about, we post Dreamforce, we'll figure out how to bring those to life for the broader community. So whether that's turning it into a blog post or a video or something, but like we view Dreamforce as like our content, like ideation, like, oh my God, that session is great. That session is great. Cool. Let's like share that more broadly. So yeah.
Are there fewer recorded this year just because like the production value is better, you mentioned?
Yeah, the strategy changed, right? So they're really like prioritizing video as a way to really engage with, you know, customers and potential customers. So they really wanted to put in extra special like polish and filter and not just overwhelm you with thousands of recorded sessions, right? So it was a strategic decision. And I know in the past, right, like you could get basically the audio recording of any session.
Everything, yeah.
Yeah, but so that has changed.
Got it. Everyone's excited about Jennifer Hudson. I got sad because my session is during the Bono session. And so I'm like, oh, is anyone going to come to my session? Tracy and I had a session, what was it, 2019? It was the same time as Obama. And we were like, oh my God, no one's going to come. But then the room was full. So
that's, you know, on our end, when they start scheduling sessions and stuff, you're always like, oh no, like someone's going to miss out on that. Or I mean, there's another session I'm really excited about. I'm a huge podcast nerd, shocker. But so Kara Swisher's podcast Pivot, she's going to do a live taping of that or recording of that at Dreamforce too. So
nice.
Like that's pretty exciting.
For the people who will, we're following online as best we can, and we're like seeking out even more content. In years past, I've really utilized Twitter to like get the download. Can you recommend any hashtags we should be following, or Twitter handles that we should be start following now, so that we can be like feeling a part of it without, even if we're not near a TV or a computer?
Sure. So, I mean, you could get lost in all of the ways to follow along. So my strategy would be, I mean, of course, follow the Dreamforce handle. And then I would say, I mean, I'm biased, but the Salesforce admins handle. The reason I actually really say that is we have an incredible social like strategy person, Britt Gibson, who is like, can I tell you, she has a whole social plan that is like 10 pages long for how and when to post and what's getting posted and like questions to ask and like really driving that engagement on Twitter. Like we're going to have timed tweet, like special tweets that actually give you the slide that is being shown so that you can look at it and look at the product details and whatnot. So definitely follow Salesforce admins. And then the hashtag, of course, DF22. For Release Readiness Live, it's the same, hashtag SF Live. And that's how we're going to be gathering the questions as well to ask the product managers. So that would kind of be the way that I'd look at it. I mean, if you want to go extra, right, like hashtag awesome admin is going to have a lot of activity to it. The general kind of Salesforce handle will be a lot higher level kind of executive or thought leadership stuff. And then, yeah, if you're an architect, follow Salesforce architects. If you're a developer, follow Salesforce devs. That would be my recommendation.
On the schedule that you showed, like the programming TV guide schedule, there were like just
the schedule
big
we didn't
blocks
see,
of
Christy.
things.
The schedule we did
Right,
not see.
the schedule we didn't see. What I'm imagining in my mind, there were like big blocks. Is there a way that people will be able to see what's happening inside of those blocks? Like, are those a bunch of different sessions, or how can people, what I'm really getting at is how can people block off time on their calendar so they can actually devote to watching like what they want to watch instead of just having Dreamforce TV on for 72 hours?
What? You're not just going to like leave it on and just be tuned in? Come on. Yeah. So actually, when you go to Salesforce Live, their homepage right there under the Dreamforce tab, when you see the listing, you can click add to calendar for any of the sessions, and it will add it to your calendar, whatever platform you use. So that's one way. And yeah, those blocks, like every single thing is a planned something. So
Okay.
there's the long ones, of course, with like, the main keynote, but they're also going to be like the Dreamforce Today show is going to be on there, the Dreamforce Tonight show, the luminary sessions. It's all, I mean, what I showed slide is basically a very more, it's a planning version of what you see on Salesforce Live right now.
Okay, cool. I highly, highly, highly recommend that you guys actually block off time on your calendar and try not to have other meetings or other work that you have to do at the same time, because I am so guilty of just registering for these virtual conferences and having them on in the background, but I'm actually working. And so at some point I just like phase it out and then I don't really get anything out of it, which is really sad. So definitely actually set aside time. I think I put in one of my slalom blog posts that like you get bonus points if you like cast it to your TV or something and make popcorn and like actually devote time to watching Dreamforce, because I think that's how you'll benefit the most from it for sure.
Mark, I see your question about the time zone. So good news. We actually have what we're calling global takeovers for the broadcast. So there is an EMEA specific broadcast with re-airing some of the stuff that happened during the US time specifically for EMEA. Same thing for APAC. There's an APAC like global takeover because those time zones are really rough. So they have thought about that. And so you will have content that is live and streaming during your normal like waking hours, which for me are like, they end at like 8 p.m. So I get it.
In addition to the time zones, will anything be broadcast in any other languages, or is it pretty much just English
No,
and
but I
ASL?
do know that there's like subtitle options or caption options. Aside from just the ASL, they're not, live translating anything. At least I haven't heard anything about that. So.
Okay. Yeah, cool. Tracy's not coming to Dreamforce this year. She's going to a wedding. It's really sad.
It is really sad. Everybody knows how mad I got at my friends and how she is lucky we remain friends after this. But and maid of honor, I have to go. I have no legs to stand on either because the wedding's in Italy, so I know I'm going to something fantastic. I know. But I love Dreamforce so much, I can't tell you how much it hurts.
Well, you can catch the time zone specific
There we go.
broadcast in Italy.
I will.
And guess what? There'll be another one next year. So it's okay.
I know. Like logically, I know, but my heart tells me something different.
Tracy, my best friend, who also works at Salesforce, in 2018, got married the weekend before Dreamforce. She has a role that has nothing to do with Dreamforce. She works in security, M&A. And I was like, what are you doing to me? I was also her maid of honor. I was like, I can't. And thankfully it was in Santa Barbara, so it was like drivable, but still, like, I was like, I'm driving back from your wedding early rehearsals in the keynote room on Sunday afternoon. Like, why did you do this to me?
See, that's unforgivable because I got married in 2018 too, and I actually changed my wedding date so that I could go to Dreamforce in 2018. Okay, like it's doable, people.
Oh my gosh. So I will be at Dreamforce, and I am kind of feeling FOMO now for the like broadcast only things. And I'm excited for you that you get to add late night host to your resume because that's pretty cool.
Well, late night. We're taping at like 4 p.m., you know? Again, I go to bed at 8, so.
That's amazing.
For people who, again, we're going to follow Twitter, we're going to watch as live as we can. And I think this happens consistently with any virtual events. A lot of us learn about the contests a little too late. You know, like the virtual contests. Do you have any recommendations to be ahead on that curve on that one? So like we have the opportunity to win the awesome hip pack, like things like that.
All of you should be going on the Salesforce admin's handle right now and answering that question so that you have a chance to win.
I put the link in the chat.
Yeah, I will. I will.
Oh no, I put it there.
Oh, you did? Okay, great. Thank you. Yeah, I mean, I think the biggest thing, right, is I know from internally, the social strategy team is much more focused on like the engagement with the people who are tuning in versus the people that are physically on site. So, I mean, we will still have like the on-site like quest that you can complete by going to specific things, and then you can get swag at the trading post. But there's going to be opportunities for people who are joining virtually to also like win things and get stuff. So, I mean, the biggest way to stay ahead of that or make sure that you're on it is, like I said, like follow the handles. They will do a pretty good job of promoting stuff. Like we launched ours this week, right? So a lot of teams are getting more proactive about that as well. Like we're going to do it before Dreamforce, not just like point in time. I mean, from a strategy standpoint, it only makes sense, right? Because then we get to reach more people. So I know.
Jillian, would you say that Twitter is the best virtual place to like be part of the community during Dreamforce?
I think so. I mean, I love the Trailblazer community, but it's not quite right for a live event, right? It's kind of more for discussions and like getting into like, you know, into a topic. I think Twitter is great because you're going to see photos, you're going to get live updates, like they'll do probably clips of certain things on Twitter from Salesforce Live to help push people to Salesforce Live. So yeah, I think it just works the best way right now. That's Twitter first.
Twitter first, always.
And I know there will be an opportunity during some of the sessions. I think there's like actually like there's gonna be like a chat and like moderators in a chat. So I don't know what that looks like. It could be a mess because everyone will be posting their LinkedIn profiles.
Right.
But there will be that element. So feel free to check it out. I make no promises.
So in a lot of the like Salesforce Live stuff, you have that chat box on the side. That won't be there during the Salesforce Plus, or it will?
Well, so that'll be there for the Salesforce Live, right? For Release Readiness Live, that will, because that's the Salesforce Live platform.
Yeah.
In terms of the Salesforce Plus stuff, I think some sessions are going to have that and some sessions won't.
Interesting. Okay.
Yeah. And honestly, this is new territory for us too. Like we don't really know how it's going to play out. We did it when we did the virtual Dreamforces the last couple years, and we learned a lot. So we'll find out how much we learned. But yeah.
And then Twitter's obviously the best handle for us to follow in the meantime. For us elder millennials and the different, as we have approached and are now in TikTok, is TikTok going to have a presence? Because I got to tell you, my TikTok algorithm says that I'm a hyper organized and I am in desperate need of therapy, but I have yet to make it to the Salesforce side of TikTok. Wondering, and this doesn't have
I feel like you're just like outing yourself for all kinds of things. I
do that every month. Is there a Dreamforce specific plan for that level of social engagement? And if not for Dreamforce, is there something in the future that we can look forward to with that particular platform?
Well, TikTok is special.
Yes, it is.
So I know that the Dreamforce handle has a TikTok presence. So there probably will be some stuff on there. I will say as a company, it's not something we're prioritizing. There's a lot of, interesting discussions around TikTok and in terms of data and protection and all of that. So yeah, I mean, to be completely honest, like they didn't let us have TikTok on our Salesforce phones until like a month ago because of security issues. So we're definitely a little bit probably behind the TikTok game. TikTok confuses me. So I don't, again, I'm in the same category. The cool kids use it. I logged in and all I was getting was like weird like nature and dog videos, which isn't that off from like my interests, but then I got like, I don't even dance. So yeah. So the answer is the Dreamforce handle has a TikTok handle. Go ahead. I don't know how you find on TikTok, but there is something there. There's not some big overarching like Salesforce plan to start really diving in deep on TikTok.
Gotcha. That helps. And I can find that TikTok handle and I will drop it in for us, for those of us who are continuing to try to stay with it. Christy is not, she sends me reels. So that shows you how
I refuse. I only watch TikToks when they're posted first on Instagram.
I log into Instagram once a month. So that's my level of engagement.
Nice. All right. So Twitter then.
Yeah.
Twitter is where it's at. Does anybody, the chat is slowing down here. Does anybody else have any other questions about how to get the most out of the Salesforce Plus experience or what you should focus on watching? Anybody want to have a watch party?
Yeah.
Oh, Penny wants to have a watch party.
Yes. If you have a watch party, you should take a photo and post it on Twitter and you will get lots of love from Salesforce. So
if I was not going to be at Dreamforce, I would have had a watch party for us, but I don't think I could do that from San Francisco. That seems chaotic.
It's very meta. It's like the watch party, the watch party of the watch party.
That would be amazing. All right. Well, if nobody has any more questions, then I feel good about this, and we'll post the recording so you guys can ignore the confidential schedule that's totally going to change.
Well, that's the thing. It's only going to change. So like, it's not even accurate anyway. It was just to give you like, this is the strategy. So there's going to be a lot of stuff.
It's amazing. I will be at Dreamforce, so let me know if anybody needs anything, and I'm sure I will be tweeting up a storm because I must tweet live all the time or I'd like die or something. So follow me too.
Christy, find me. I'll hand you stickers for the whole user group.
Word. I will come and find you. Oh, Dana asked, does anyone know a good virtual watch party to join? I'm sure that they'll be coming out with a list, Dana. They usually do before like Trailhead DX and stuff, like a list of all the community watch parties. So I'll find that and post it in the chatter group or something for everybody. For sure.
Yeah. Well, this is exciting. I'm excited for my virtual experience. I think it's going to be, I think that as always, Salesforce, listens to what we say, takes the feedback, and then just makes it so much better. So I'm very excited for this year.
Bye.
You do. Yeah, you guys do great. And I'm definitely excited for your late night premiere. It's so delicious and fantastic. I'm very excited.
That will be recorded at 4 p.m.
Every late night host does that. They all record between 2 and 4. Like, come on.
Do they? That makes me sad.
You do.
It's all live to tape. It's all live to tape.
Yep.
Boo. Well, Jillian, thank you so much. This was great. I'm sure everyone has a plan now. And thanks to all the new faces that we didn't actually see, but thanks for joining. Be sure to actually join the group so you get next sessions. Next month we'll be doing a release party again because winter 23 is coming. Woo! So we'll be going over all of our favorite new features and answering questions and pointing you in the right direction and all that jazz. So see you later.
Thanks, guys.
Thanks, everybody.
Bye.